Hello friends, today in this session we will discuss how to analyze spot speed data which you collect from field. And when we say analysis, it means determining the following characteristics like mean, standard deviation, mode, median, pace, percentile speeds, then fitting a normal distribution into the speed data and check for normal. ये सब पैरामीटर हम कैसे निकालें स्पीड डेटा से उसी को हम आज डिस्कस करेंगे एंड आई विल एक्सप्लेन दिस विद द हेल्प ऑफ वन एग्जांपल एंड एग्जांपल इज लेट अस से लाइक दिस कि आप स्पीड डेटा कलेक्ट करते हैं फील्ड में एंड देन यू अरेंज ऑल द स्पीड डेटा इनटू दीज ग्रुप्स दे आर कॉल्ड ग्रुप डेटा सो स्पीड स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 50 to 110 and frequency. These are the frequency which are obtained from field data. Mean of the speed is given by this equation, that is summation of fi into xi upon summation of fi, and standard deviation is given by this equation, summation of fi into xi minus x bar. X bar is the mean divided by n minus 1, and n is the total number of data, that is your total sum of these frequencies. And the third is the mode. Mode is given by this equation, L plus f1 minus f0 upon 2f1 minus f0 minus f2 into h. Mode by definition is the most occurring speed, and if you look at this frequency, the highest frequency is 45 here, and therefore mode should lie between 80 and 85 km per hour. Now L here is the lower limit of the speed range. This is called the modal frequency. This is the L1 80, F1 is the modal frequency, that is 45, F0 is the just previous one preceding the modal frequency, that is 35, and F2 is the next one, that is 40, and H is the class interval, that is 5 km per hour. So if you calculate mode using these data, L is 80, F1 is modal frequency, that is your 45, minus the previous one divided by 2 into F1 minus F0 minus F2, F2 is 40 into H. H is the class interval, that is 80 minus 85, and this comes out to be 83.33 km per hour. Because this is the highest frequency, so mode of the data will be between 80 and 85, and the correct value is 83.33 km per hour. Next is, let us calculate now the mean, and mean, as I told you, is given by summation of fi into xi. So xi here is the midpoint of the speed range, 50 to 55, midpoint is 52.5. So you tabulate this, and then in the next column you multiply this f1 by xi. So here we can multiply this and you get fi into xi in this column. Total sum is 20,110, and this is summation of fi, that is capital N, total number of frequencies. So you can calculate this mean now, that this is 20,110 divided by 250, 80.44 km per hour. Next is how to calculate the standard deviation. And as I told you, standard deviation is given by this equation, xi. Now you know x bar, that is your mean value. Xi is the individual value here, and n I told you 250. So you add one more column here and calculate these parameter, that is xi minus mean square into fi. So xi 52.5 minus mean 80.44 whole square into fi 8, this is this value 6245.14. Do it for all rows, and that is the total sum here. So this is summation of xi minus x bar whole square into fi. You calculate what is standard deviation. This is 39,304.1 divided by n minus 1, that is 249, and this is 12.56 km per hour is the standard deviation. You can make all these calculations very easily in Excel sheet. So next is to draw the frequency graph and cumulative frequency chart. That is called the probability density function, and this is cumulative frequency distribution. So this is the frequency which you observed in the field, and if you take cumulative frequency, then 8 is written here, 8, then 8 plus 10 is 18, 18 plus 12 30, and so on. And the cumulative frequency, 8 upon 250 3.2, 18 upon 250 7.2, and so on. As I told you, all these calculations can be easily made in Excel sheet, and then you can plot. On x-axis you can take the midpoint of the speed range, and on y-axis you can take the frequency, so you get this type of histogram. This is the frequency distribution, or PDF, probability density function. This can be used to determine the pace of the speed data. And what is the pace? Pace is a 10 km per hour increment in speed in which the highest percentage of drivers is observed. It is a range of speed at which majority of the drivers are traveling on a section of the road. And this pace is determined graphically. So this is the chart which you have drawn from the frequency data. On x-axis you have the xi value, and y-axis you have frequency. Now you take two lines here, and distance between these two lines should be equal to 10 km per hour on the same scale as the scale of x-axis here. So this distance from 70 to 80 is same as this distance between these two lines. Then you slide these lines on this x-axis so that the first line here will be on the left side of the curve and second line will be on the right side of the curve. Then in that case it will be like this. So this is the pace. This is the pace of the speed data. And you can read here on the x-axis 78 to 88 km per hour is the pace. So this is the speed at which maximum drivers are traveling. To determine the percentage of this speed from 78 to 88, we go on cumulative speed distribution curve. Now this is cumulative distribution curve, percent cumulative frequency. Now you plot this data on y-axis and the midpoint of the speed range on x-axis, then this curve will look like this. This blue one, S-type curve, O-give curve. Now pace is 78 to 88, so corresponding to 78 km per hour, you can find out by the percentage, that is 40. Corresponding to 88 km per hour by the percentage, that is 75. So 40 to 75% is the pace of the speed data. We have calculated mean and standard deviation of the speed data. Now the next step is to fit a normal distribution. And this is the probability density function of a normal distribution. It depends upon sigma and mu. Mu is the mean and sigma is the standard deviation. Now integration of this equation is extremely difficult, and therefore fitting of a normal distribution is done through the area under the curve. This part is now converted into standard score, that is Z. Z is given by x minus mu upon standard deviation. Now this Z is calculated for each data, each row here. This is the observed frequency. I have written here O is the observed frequency. This is the upper bound limit of the speed range, 55. Now here in this example, the speed range is taken 50 to 55 and then 55 to 60. In some cases you will find that speed is 50 to 54, then 55 to 60. So in that case you add here 54.5, 0.5 here and 0.5 here. Now here no addition is required, so this is the upper bound limit of speed range. Z is given by this equation, x minus mu upon sigma. So for this row, the x is 55, mean 80.44, standard deviation 12.56, this is minus 2.025. So enter this value here. Similarly, for each row you calculate what is the Z value. Now this is a standard score, and the normal distribution with the standard score will have the area which is equal to 1. This is the standard normal distribution. Now for each Z value, we can find out what is the area under the curve from this table, standard table. For example, the first row, Z is minus 2.025. Now here, you see all these values are positive values. So here is 0. Here is 0 and right side is the positive values and left side negative value. So 2.025 will lie somewhere here. This is minus 1, minus 2. So it will lie somewhere here. So we are basically interested in this area, small area here. So if you read value of 2.025 here, this is 2.02, that is your 9783. And because you have at third place 5, so you can interpolate between 02 and 03. So this will be 0.9785. That is the mean of 9783 and 9788. So this is the value 0.9785. And because it is negative, so we are basically interested in this area, small area. So subtract it from 1, that is 0.0215. This is the area under the curve for Z is equal to minus 2.025. Similarly, for each row here, you have Z value, and corresponding to Z value, you find out what is phi Z. Phi Z is the area under the curve. Then in the next step, you calculate the probability. Now probability here is, this remains same, 0.0215. This probability will be this minus this. That is second row minus first row. That is 0.0301. Third row minus second row, that is 0.0577, because this is cumulative area, or you can say cumulative probability. Now once you know the probability, you can calculate what is the expected frequency in the next column. So I am writing here E because it's expected and O because it's observed. So this probability multiplied by N 250 is the expected frequency. You calculate here. Now this is the expected frequency, this is the observed frequency. How do we know that these expected frequency are similar as observed frequency? Whether your data fit a normal distribution or not. Then in that case, a parameter is used, that is chi-square. Chi-square is given by this equation, O minus E whole square divided by E. That is observed frequency minus expected frequency divided by expected frequency. So using this, you can calculate the chi-square for each row here. Now important point here to note is that this chi-square test is not applicable when the expected frequency is less than 5. Say for example here, expected frequency is 3.1. In that case, you merge these two rows here and then you calculate a single value of chi-square. Now this expected frequency is now 11.7 against a value of 15. So this is the total sum of chi-square, 8.3909. Now this value, which is calculated chi-square, is compared with the table value for a given level of confidence and degree of freedom. Now this is the standard values or critical value of chi-square. It depends upon the degree of freedom and the level of significance. Level of significance, alpha value is generally taken 0.05 and degree of freedom is number of rows minus 1. So in your case, there are 11 rows minus 1, that is 10 degree of freedom. So corresponding to 10 degree of freedom and 0.05 level of significance, this value is 18.307 and therefore chi-square table is 18.307. This value is compared with this value. If calculated value is less than table value, then your data fit the normal distribution. So in our case also, the data follows a normal distribution and you have all parameters of this normal distribution, that is the mean and standard deviation. So that is how we fit a normal distribution to speed data. Now to understand how these normal distribution data, I mean mean, Z and standard deviation are used to calculate different features of speed data or to determine the probability of speed falling in a particular range, you can watch my video on normal distribution. I am providing the link in the description box. So friends, thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any question, you can write in the comment box.